Stock prices are falling this week. The first 2 days of trading are seeing big losses for certain stocks, especially stocks like Tesla down big, CVS down big, Broadcom down big, Nvidia is down. So across the board, we're seeing a lot of losses in stocks. Not a giant surprise. We've had a stock market that continued to go up and up and up, fueled by an AI hype in technology that may end up being a pretty significant bubble. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that it's going to remind me of the bubble that we saw during the dot-com era, where we had real businesses like Cisco, Intel, and they were real businesses that were making real profits, real cash flow, but the prices were just too high. And both of those stocks went down significantly over the course of a year or two, and they've never recovered the stock prices they achieved during the dot-com bubble. Now, what's important to do in a correcting market is to be patient, to hold it together. Um, we're buying businesses. We're not buying little pieces of paper or digital assets that have a name on them, like Apple or Alphabet or Meta. We're buying these businesses, and the businesses haven't changed from last week to this week. For example, Alphabet, they still have YouTube. YouTube is still functioning. YouTube still advertises, and Alphabet continues to make money. Meta, they continue to operate their social networks, make lots of money, lots of free cash. The businesses haven't changed just because their stock prices are dropping. That's really important to continue to remind ourselves of, because we need to keep our internal fortitude in order so that we can take advantage of a dropping stock market. I like that stock prices are going down so that I could buy more shares in businesses that I want to own. The amount of cash that I have right now is going to enable me to invest into the right businesses, and I'm going to be ready to do so. When is the right time? I think if we continue to see losses like we're seeing today, it'll be the right time fairly soon. I'll start averaging in my buys into particular stocks. Right now, I'm trying to hold, for the week and see how things sort themselves out. And one thing that I'll monitor is the news outlets will really latch onto this negative news. CNBC, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, everybody else will begin to repeat the negative news. Stock prices are falling, stock prices are falling. And that cycle will begin to affect the psychology of the market. I believe that tends to happen. Negative news is just really contagious and gets repeated so much. We'll see how far this market goes down and how loud the media networks broadcast it. I'm expecting it's going to be a pretty loud broadcast by the media. And we'll see how it affects the market psychology. I need to just maintain my focus on evaluating really good businesses that I want to be an owner in, look at their cash flows, look at their earnings per share, value companies on my own, and make decisions to buy stocks, preferably at a really good discount. I wanted to highlight just a few companies and show you the discounts that I'm seeing just today. The companies I'll look at include CVS, they include Tesla, and I'll show how the price significantly changed. But again, the businesses haven't changed a whole lot from last week to this week, but the price has. So it's interesting to take a look at. The first business I wanted to highlight is CVS. I'm sure you've driven past a CVS or went into a CVS to get your prescription filled, or maybe you just needed to pick up a bag of chips or something. And this company has been one of my holdings for some time. I really like the dividend that they pay, 3.67. That's a nice dividend. And today, the stock went down 8.45%. And that's a big drop in what I consider to be a pretty stable company. They make money, they grow their top line revenue, they generate a lot of free cash, and they're profitable. All things are good in my book. And the stock is down 8.32%. I couldn't resist, so I bought a few shares and will continue to buy shares if CVS continues to be discounted. My comfort level in buying CVS shares comes from my research. I've researched CVS. I've been tracking this company for about 5 years. And I believe the stock is discounted by 60%. If I discount the free cash flows that the company produces, I also project a forecast of those free cash flows. I also think that the stock is discounted because their earnings per share are really good. Now, earnings per share and the free cash flow forecast did not change from last week to this week, but the stock price changed quite dramatically. So that's where the stock begins to get discounted. When everybody hates a company, but they're making lots of money, it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to buy a money making company that generates lots of free cash will give me dividends, will pay me to be a shareholder. So that's what I like in a stock, is when a very sound business gets discounted and I can buy it at really good prices. And CBS most definitely today was a good buying opportunity for me. Tesla is down big today, and year to date, it's down 34%. What a big drop. So today it's down 6%. And this is a company that's revolutionizing the automotive industry. I think Tesla is a great company from a perspective of their innovation. I think their IQ is off the charts. I think they're really going to change the world, starting with automobiles, electric vehicles, and so forth. Now, that whole expectation of the company didn't change from last week to this week, but the stock price has changed dramatically. And that's another example of, hey, if I was a Tesla buyer of the stock, I'd be in a better position to buy more shares at a discount this week. Now, I'm not a holder of Tesla. I'm not a buyer of Tesla. I have another video on my channel where I show that I believe the Tesla stock is just overpriced. So I'm not ready to invest any capital in Tesla. I just wanted to show as an example how companies, their stock prices really get driven down when there's a market perception that a company's in trouble or it's an undesirable company or stock. Those naysayers really drive down the price. Airbnb is another stock that's being discounted today. It's down 2.22%. Year to date, the stock's doing great. It's up 31%. Airbnb's business is flourishing. People love the vacation rental experience where they can rent a house instead of staying in a hotel room, where they could explore maybe some remote areas where they can rent a house and explore that remote area or small city or small community. It's just a really different experience. And Airbnb is flourishing. Their business is great. I'm a big investor in Airbnb. And although I've been on a hold pattern with Airbnb because, frankly, the stock's up so much, I think that they're closer to fairly priced. But if the stock continues to be discounted, I will be a buyer of Airbnb. It will be interesting to see how this plays out. Will stocks continue to go down this week and maybe for several weeks, maybe for 2 months, the month of April and May? That would be very interesting. It certainly make prices less expensive. And remember that when you have falling stock prices, it's not a equally distributed, reduction of 1% as an example across all stocks. Some stocks get hit harder. I showed a few examples in this video of CVS and Tesla being hit pretty darn hard. And that's where the opportunity for me really begins, is some stocks get really beat up and their prices get really discounted, and it's a great company to buy at a discount. So we'll see how that plays out. For how long will stock prices continue to go down? Overall, I think it's healthy for the stock market to have pullbacks, to have corrections. It's not fun, but it's healthy. So that way we can keep stock prices at a level where they're a better investment. They're a better investment for the next share that you buy, for the next new investor that enters the market and wants to buy into equities. So all those things are positive over the long term. It's also really good news for a value investor that's actively analyzing companies, researching companies, and taking advantage of discounts on stock prices that exist. So overall, I think it's a good time to really buckle up, continue to research companies, and find those diamonds in the rough that will reward me over the long term. I hope you found the video interesting, and I really appreciate you watching.